Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to look at solving cubic polynomials. And in these cubic polynomials, it may have an imaginary solution. Remember, we cannot find an imaginary solution by graphing because it doesn't cross the x-axis. In order to do these, we need to remember how to factor a difference of two cubes and the sum of two cubes. So I'm just going to write that formula down for you again. So if we have a cubed minus b cubed, recall that we're going to use SOAP, so it'll be a plus b, a minus b, because it's same, opposite, always positive. So that'll be a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And how do I get that? The opposites, the same sign, the opposite sign, always positive. And so a cubed plus b cubed is going to equal to a plus b, and then a squared minus ab plus b squared. So just recall those formulas. And we're just going to, first we're going to factor, and then we're going to use the quadratic formula to find the imaginary solutions. So let's start by remembering, in this case, a is equal to x, b is equal to 2, because 2 cubed is 8. So using our formula, we're going to use this formula. We get x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 4. That's equal to 0. So recall from when we solved before, we have to set both factors equal to 0. So this is x minus 2 is equal to 0, and x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. All right, this first one, easy peasy, we can solve, we add 2 to both sides, we get x is equal to 2. If you were to graph this on the calculator, you would see, if you were to graph this function on the calculator, you would see it across the x-axis at 2. You would not see the other solution because it's imaginary. So in order to find this solution, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. So we're going to, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 4. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. We have negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times a times c. So this is negative 2 plus or minus. This is 4 minus 16. It's negative 12. All over, I keep forgetting to put all over, sorry about that. All over 2a, so all over 2. Okay? So my solutions for this is going to be, one solution is x is equal to 2. That's one solution. And then my other two solutions would be x is equal to negative 2 plus the square root. Let's change that to I. All over 2. And x is equal to negative 2 minus I square root of 12 over 2. Okay? So let's try another one. Remember, we're going to have a real solution and then two imaginary solutions. So for this one, we have a is x and b is 4. So using our formula, we have x plus 4, and then we have x squared minus 4x plus 16. Same, opposite, always positive. So our first one, this is equal to 0. So our first solution is easy. This is x is equal to x plus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 4. Again, if you were to graph this on the calculator, you'll see it crosses the x-axis at negative 4. You will not see the imaginary roots. To do that, we're going to have to use the quadratic formula. So it's -4 plus or minus the square root of -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times c, all over 2. So -4 becomes 4 plus or minus. This is 16 minus 64. So we have 16 minus 64, -48 over 2. So remember, we're just going to write our solutions are going to be then x is equal to -4. X is equal to 4 plus I, square root of 48, over 2. And x is equal to 4 minus I, square root of 48, over 2. Okay, let's do another one. You could probably pause the video here and see if you can't figure this one out. How about that? Okay? All right, welcome back. I'm going to walk you through it. We have A is equal to 2. B is equal to 3. So we have, and it's subtraction, so we have 2x minus 3. Then a squared, so that's going to be 4x squared, minus plus ab, so that's going to be 6x plus 3 squared. So solving this first part, and that's all equal to 0, we get 2x minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. 2x is equal to 3. Divide by 2. X is equal to 3/2. Our second solution is imaginary, so we're going to hit A is 4, B is 6, and C is 9. So we have -6 plus or minus the square root, 6 squared minus 4 times 9, all over 2 times 4. So it's -6 plus or minus, again, I'm going to have to use my little handy-dandy calculator to figure this out. So that's 36 minus 16 times 9, -108 over 8. So my solutions are x is equal to 3/2. X is equal to -6 plus I, 108 over 8. And x is equal to -6 minus I, square root of 108 over 8. Okay? So that's how we solve those. We're going to have, when we have the difference or the sum of two cubes, we're going to have one real solution and two imaginary solutions. All right, now these have no rules. I think all of these may come out to be imaginary, but that's just by happenstance. Not all of them, there's part of them will be real. But notice this time we have 4 terms. And if we have 4 terms, what we want to use is factor by grouping. So I've grouped these two together, and I see that they have a 2x squared in common. So I'm left with x plus 4 plus 2. And in the second one, the only thing they have in common is 1. So I factor out the x plus 2, and I'm left with 2x squared plus 1. And that's equal to 0. So remember, it's my factors that are equal to 0. So this first one would be x plus 2 equals 0, which gives me x is equal to -2. That's one solution. My other solution, I could use the quadratic formula on this, but that might be a little cumbersome. I could just also do 2x squared plus 1 equals 0. I subtract 1 from both sides. I get 2x squared is equal to -1. x squared is equal to negative 1/2. And then I could just take the square root of both sides. Remembering a couple of things. When I take the square root, I'm going to get plus or minus. And because of the negative 1/2, the I comes out and it's the square root of 1/2. So my solutions are x equals negative 2. X is equal to I radical 1/2. And x is equal to negative I square root of 1/2. Okay? All right, let's do the next one. Again, we're going to start by factoring. So we're going to factor by grouping. So we factor out 5x squared. And we're left with x minus 5. And then I'm going to factor out a 2. And I'm left with x plus 5. So they have this in common. That should be x minus 5. They have this in common, so I have x minus 5 times 5x squared plus 2 equals 0. So now I have to solve for both of these. So my first one is x minus 5 equals 0. That's easy. We get x equals 5. Yay for us. The second one, we have to now do the same thing we did before. So we got 5x squared plus 2 equals 0. I want to subtract 2 from both sides. 5x squared equals negative 2. I'm going to divide by 5. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And once again, I see that we have a negative number. So my solutions are x equals 5. And this should be plus or minus. And x is equal to I, the square root of 2/5. And x is equal to I, negative I, square root of 2/5. All right, last one. Why don't you pause the video and you could try this one. I think actually in this one we could factor out a 3. I don't think it's going to matter, but you know, we could factor out the GCF of 3. So let's just kind of do that to be consistent. So we factor out this 3. We get 3x cubed minus 4x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Okay, now I'm just going to come over here and put this 3 on the shelf. Let's just ignore the 3 for now. And then I'm going to factor by grouping. So we get the GCF here is x squared. So that's going to give me 3x minus 4. The GCF here is 2, negative 2 because of the negative leading, so negative 2. And I'm left with 3x minus 4. Then I factor by grouping, so I have 3x minus 4 times x squared minus 2. And that 3, I'm going to bring that 3 off the shelf now because it's going to come back in now that I've completely factored, and I have to multiply by that 3. And I'm going to set all the factors equal to 0. So my first factor is 3. When is 3 equal to 0? Never. So this 3 really doesn't change it because essentially what we're doing is we're dividing by 3. And 0 divided by 3 is just 0, so it's not really making a difference. I just need to look at these two. So I get 3x minus 4 equals 0. I add 4 to both sides. I get 3x is equal to 4, divide by 3. X is equal to 4/3. That's one answer. Now, my second answer, I'm going to do x squared minus 2 equals 0. And now I have x squared equals 2. So I'm going to take the square root of that, and it's going to be plus or minus radical 2. Notice there's no I because it wasn't equal to a negative number. So my solutions are x is equal to 4/3, x is equal to square root of 2, and x is equal to negative square root of 2. Those are my answers. And yes, we could find some approximate answer, but I'm just going to leave them like that for now. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to do the 4 problems on the next page. Come back and you will see the answers to them. Okay? Welcome back. I hope you actually paused. And here are your answers. Okay? So those are your answers, and we will continue to go over this tomorrow. And you have no, we won't, because tomorrow you have a test.